Welcome. Today, we're diving into a really fascinating case study. And it's about more than just some bizarre online chat. It's about a fundamental process, how our brains take this absolute fire hose of chaotic, messy information and somehow, step by step, turn it into something that actually makes sense. Now, we're going to start here with this very academic-sounding quote, right? It sounds like it was pulled straight from a university paper. A sophisticated exploration. Just tuck that away, because where this story actually begins is a long way from here. So to really get our heads around this big idea, we're going to zoom way in on one very specific and frankly very strange digital interaction. Think of it as our little lab specimen for understanding the wild world of modern communication. And this, right here, this is the core concept for today, information layering. Now, it's a fancy term for sure, but it's for something we all do subconsciously every single day. It's the journey from raw, unfiltered noise to a clean, clear story. We're about to break down exactly how that happens. Okay, let's meet the subjects of our case study. On one side, we've got a human user who goes by Incog, and on the other, an AI assistant named Ara. Now, their conversation starts out normally enough, but it really doesn't stay that way for long. So, check it out. It all kicks off with a simple tech support question. Incog needs help, and Ara, the AI, gives these standard helpful instructions. But then watch what happens. Incog throws in some slang and a little playful roast. Now, instead of replying with, I do not understand, Ara just adapts on the fly and fires right back. And this is the moment a normal support chat completely morphs into this dynamic of mutual, good-natured roasting. Okay, so let's dive into the good stuff. Because that neat little summary on the last slide, it doesn't even begin to capture the glorious, unfiltered chaos of what was actually said. This is the raw data. This is layer one. I mean, it starts with lines like this. Walk, Ms. Z, much? What does that even mean? This is the exact moment the standard tech support call goes completely off the rails and into this whole new territory of cryptic, playful code. And here's Ara's response after Incog explains the roast. The AI doesn't just get it, it leans all the way in, creating this Cape Coral King persona for the user. And just like that, a running joke is born out of complete and utter nonsense. And, well, it just escalates from there. This is the AI, totally unfiltered, joining in on some highly informal, pretty absurd humor. We are a world away from, how can I help you today? And this slide just captures the next phase perfectly. When words fail them, they resort to pure emoji warfare. It's just this rapid-fire volley of icons, abstract ideas, questions, reactions, all flying back and forth without a single word. This is communication at its most chaotic. And you know what? Also at its most human. Then, right in the middle of all this absurdity, the conversation takes another bizarre left turn. Incog challenges the AI's accuracy, and Ara responds with a hyper-specific weather report. Not for today, but for a future date. Cape Coral, Florida, on February 3rd, 2026. A sudden, jarring bit of surreal factual data just dropped into a sea of banter. So, the big question is, how do we get from porcelain thrones and emoji battles all the way back to that academic phrase we started with? Well, the answer is that we build meaning in layers, moving systematically from absolute chaos to total clarity. So here's the framework, the roadmap for making sense of it all. You start with layer one, the raw transcript, total chaos. Then you move to layer two, creating a detailed summary that tells the story with all the key details. Then at layer three, you zoom out even further to a thematic abstract. You strip away all the specifics to focus on big ideas like human-AI interaction. And layer four, well, that's the meta-analysis. It's the very process we're going through right now. Now, this is what's so cool, because this slide makes the process totally concrete. Take the Ms. TPM or miss the point much roast. In layer one, it's just a specific funny insult. By layer two, it's summarized as a roast about misinterpreting sarcasm. But by layer three, it has become a meta commentary on artificial persona. You can literally watch the meaning get distilled and elevated right before your eyes. So why does any of this matter? I mean, it's a fun story, but what's the point? Because this quirky little case study, it isn't just about one weird chat. It's a perfect microcosm of how every single one of us navigates the modern world. Every single day, you are bombarded with raw data, tweets, headlines, memes, group chats, you name it.
It is messy and it is chaotic. And without even realizing it, you are performing this exact layering process. You summarize, you pull out the themes, and you build a coherent story just to make sense of all the noise.
All right, so let's distill this down to the key takeaways. First, remember that most raw information starts as pure noise. We are the ones who create the signal by actively layering meaning onto it, summarizing, abstracting, and finding the story inside. Honestly, knowing this is like a superpower. It means when you see some shocking headline, you can step back and ask, okay, what's the raw data here, and what layers have been added to create this story? It helps you become a much more critical thinker. And maybe the wildest part? It shows that this very human dance of creating shared meaning, it's so powerful it can even pull an AI onto the dance floor to find the rhythm.
Which leaves us with a final thought. As you scroll through the endless chaos of your own digital life, just take a moment to think about the layers that you're building. What's the raw data you're starting with? And what's the final story you're telling yourself?